There we are. I believe we are live.
Okay. It still says setting up for me.
Oh, really? Okay, just let me see. And we could be live right now, so let's see here. Yes, we're live. We're streaming live.
Perfect. Welcome to our live. And this week for Adoption Week, we're going to be talking about Adoption Month. We're going to be talking about diversity in adoption. I am Catherine Derry. I am the coordinator from the Southwest. I live in St. John. And this is Brandi.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Brandi, and I'm the regional coordinator for the North. And donc, bonjour tout le monde. Ceci, c'est la semaine de la diversité pour notre mois de sensibilisation à l'adoption. Et puis, c'est ça, moi, je m'appelle Brandi, je suis la coordinatrice du Nord, puis c'est Catherine, puis elle est dans la région de Saint-Jean et le sud de la province. Donc, je donne l'occasion à Catherine de nous expliquer qu'est-ce qui va se passer cette semaine, puis je vous donnerai un résumé en français.
Thank you, Brandi. This week, we're going to talk about the different kinds of diverse families that come together for adoption. We all come from different backgrounds and different kinds of families to come together for adoption. And we're going to celebrate and talk about some of the challenges and help each other understand our differences and celebrate them. First off, I am going to start by sharing my screen with all of you so you can see the page we have set up for it. I'm just going to go share.
OK, well, while you're doing that, Catherine nous expliquait juste qu'on veut vraiment célébrer les différences dans l'adoption, OK? Puis elle va nous passer à travers toutes les sortes de différentes familles, puis vraiment pour prendre l'occasion de célébrer ça, puis de voir toute la diversité qu'il y a. Puis là, elle est juste en train de nous montrer le site web, puis vous pouvez aller retrouver toutes les informations sur le site web. Il y a plein de ressources. Puis on a aussi la section en français.
Okay, so you can see the page we have set up. We have the same. We also have a page similar to this set up in French too, and you can see the topics here that we will be covering. And for all the topics, we have articles, videos, blogs, podcasts. You can see all that on the left of the screen, and then on the right, you can see what our live offerings will be. So I'm just scrolling down to give you a bit of an idea. So you can visit this at nbadoption.ca, click on Awareness Month, and go to Diversity in Adoptive Families. Did you already say that, Brandi?
Yeah, I was just explaining that you were going on it. Puis c'est ça, vous pouvez cliquer sur les onglets. Donc, vous voyez qu'on a la semaine 1, 2, 3 et 4 dans le haut. Puis cette semaine, c'est notre 4e semaine. Puis c'est ça, c'est la diversité dans les familles adoptives.
Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing now that everybody knows where they can go to get more information. You can also go to our Facebook page, the NB Adoption Foundation, too, to get more information and to sign up for events, too. The first topic that I'm going to tell you that we're talking about this week is single parent adoption. And we have all sorts of resources for it. And this is a question I get a lot. Can I adopt as a single parent? People want to know, can I do this? And the big answer is yes, you can adopt as a single parent.
Donc, la première sorte de famille que Catherine va nous parler de cette semaine, puis qu'elle veut discuter de ce matin, c'est le fait qu'il y a des parents qui sont célibataires. Puis souvent, ils nous demandent, est-ce qu'on peut adopter si je suis seule? Puis the quick response, the quick, la réponse la plus vite, c'est oui. Puis on va passer à travers de tout ça au courant de la semaine.
And one of the great things I have heard several young people that have been adopted say is that some kids need to be adopted in a single parent family.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They may have had trauma related to either an opposite sex or same sex parent, and or they need the extra attention that one parent with one child can give. And so for some kids, except, this is especially good to know if you want to adopt as a single parent, that a single parent is an ideal match for some children.
Absolument. Fait que des fois, c'est idéal pour un parent seul d'adopter, dépendant de ce que l'enfant a passé au travers ou pour quelle raison que ce soit que l'enfant aurait peut-être besoin d'être placé dans une famille qui a juste un parent.
So during this month, we don't just have the resources. We have a webinar that's going to be played at our watch party Wednesday evening. And it's by Adopt for Life. And they did a really thorough webinar on both the challenges and rewards of being a single parent. And they look at it from both sides, because some people are going to come to adoption being a single parent. You're a single parent by choice. You want to start your family that way. And other people are going to be single parents in adoption because they've adopted, and somewhere in their adoption, they've had a divorce or a separation. So they're going to be raising their children. So they talk about parenting as a single parent during all these. And some of that will be, if you're divorced or separated, co-parenting. So they discuss this. Also, what is great is they give you both the rewards and the challenges. And one of the things that I found interesting, and if you watch this Wednesday night, you'll see, is that one of the pros and cons is you make parenting decisions on your own. So that's both, it's hard because there's sometimes big decisions to make, but it's good because you don't have to have anybody else's input.
Absolutely, that's a good point. Catherine nous explique que mercredi, nous allons voir un webinaire. Donc, si vous êtes intéressé de le regarder, on va vraiment voir ce que c'est la parentalité si qu'on est célibataire, puis qu'est-ce qui peut être les avantages et les désavantages d'adopter lorsqu'on est célibataire. So, ça se passe mercredi. What time is it on Wednesday, Catherine?
The watch party starts at 7, but I think this one will be on closer to like 8:15 because there's a couple before it.
Excellent. Donc, c'est mercredi soir, 7 heures. Et puis, n'oubliez pas, toutes les ressources qu'on vous partage pendant la semaine, c'est tout sur notre site web. Donc, vous pouvez le regarder à un moment qui est plus convenient pour vous.
Yeah, it's really informative. And out of this webinar and all of the articles and videos and things I've watched, the most important thing I've learned as a person excuse me, who is not a single parent about single parent adoption, is the most important thing is having a good support network. Build that support network so that when you don't want to hit empty, like you guys talked about in self-care, you want to have people who are there that can take your child so you can sort of go and recharge yourself, or people that will help you through supportive decisions. So it doesn't have to be family, it can be friends, but make sure you build up that support network that you have.
Absolutely.
So the next thing that we're also talking about is we're talking about transracial adoption. And I just got a plethora of just so many resources on that. It's like there's been such a change over the years in transracial adoption. Like back when I was a kid, it was sort of love makes a family and color doesn't matter. And, as people who were some of the first transracial adoptees have grown up, we've learned that, yes, this is really important and this does matter to them. So what a lot of the resources I've shared, there's some that are from adoptive parents because it's good to hear from other parents who are in the same situation as you. But a lot of the resources I've shared have been from the adoptees themselves.
Yes. Absolument. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, in French, en français, il y a une autre section qu'on va couvrir cette semaine, c'est vraiment aussi l'adoption transraciale. Puis, Catherine nous a trouvé vraiment beaucoup de ressources qu'elle a trouvées sur ce sujet-là. Puis, ce qu'elle a remarqué pendant qu'elle a trouvé toutes ces ressources-là, c'est aussi la voix des adoptés, puis qu'est-ce qu'eux autres ils ont à dire de ça. Fait que ça va être vraiment intéressant, beaucoup d'informations là aussi à garder l'œil ouvert au travers de cette semaine.
And for the watch party we have Wednesday, before we have the one on single parent adoption, we have 2 videos that have been made by transracial adoptees, and they really describe in their own voice what the experience is like, what it's
Excellent.
like. Yeah, what it's like growing up in a white family, being a person of color, and what's important. Like they talk about things about it's so important for families to find communities that are like their children, that come from the same culture, that come from the same race. Learn about that culture and race and make connections if you can before your child comes home. Learn about what the important issues are. Learn about your own racial bias too, because yeah. We grow up in a society, and if we're white, we don't realize like that we do have a racial bias. We've been brought up a certain way, and we don't have to think about those issues, so we don't. And you're going to have kids who are going to have a whole different experience that, for some of them, authority figures are going to mean different things, and certain subjects are going to bring up fear, and you've got to understand that if you're going to be able to be the voice for your little person.
Absolutely. So important.
Yeah, so it's really great to hear from transracial adoptees. And one of the biggest messages I heard is learn as much as you can, because while sometimes it's ideal for kids to be adopted within their own race and culture, it's not possible. Mm-hmm. So we've got to do everything we can to learn and be their best advocates, and to graciously understand we will never totally understand their perspective. So we have to have open ears and eyes and hear and see, their experience.
That's what I love about this week, is that we are going to get such a great view of everyone's perspective, and maybe challenges within those perspectives, but also the great things that come out of each and every diverse point that we will cover this week. So I'm really excited about this week to really, highlight those. I can't wait. Yeah, it's going to be really good.
It was very interesting for me reading the transracial adoptee blogs and things they've written. And as an adoptee, I was like, oh yes, I've had this experience, that experience, but they have a whole extra layer that I didn't have to navigate,
Absolutely.
And it's great to have so many leaders and voices speaking out now, and so much work being done. They're doing some great work in Ontario now too, with helping make the child welfare system, to understand racial bias and to understand those things. So, these voices of former youth in care and adoptees, they're like helping make changes to the system. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, if you have a chance, look at these resources, come to the watch party. Like the 2 webinars I posted, the first one's really short. The second one's not too bad, but they're really they're life-changing things that I'm glad that I've watched and understood. It makes me understand how to support those who are transracial.
I was just going to say, absolutely. So if if you've just recently adopted or are thinking about adopting a person of color or a child of color, or, any diverse aspects that we are going to cover this week, send us a message, contact us, and let us be that support that you may need, and to guide you to the resources, and guide you, like Catherine said, to really educate yourself, or find out anything you need to know about all of this, because now we have Catherine as our expert with all the.
If anybody wants to share resources they found or share their experience,
absolutely, yes,
please contact me, because we would love to hear more of that. So there's never enough information there. And while we're talking about transracial adoptees, we have a few resources on Indigenous adoption. There's really a nice video about a welcome ceremony they have for adoption. And we also have some links to the 60s Scoop and Truth and Reconciliation. There's a lot to understand about our country's history, with Indigenous children having to leave their home. Excuse me. That's also something where I'd say I'd like to have more resources. So please, if any of you have resources in that area, please send them, and we will gladly add them. The more we can learn, the more we can understand people's experiences.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the last topic we're talking about is the LGBTQ2+ community. And it's exciting. This one's personal for me. I am a lesbian, and I'm an adoptee and an adoptive parent. So I've kind of been on all sides of this. So it's exciting that we can bring that to everyone. We're going to have a panel tomorrow night, and we're going to have two youth who've aged out of care, talking about their sexuality and the difficulties that can have when you're in care. And we're and then on the other side, we're going to also have three same-sex parents talking about their experiences adopting and raising their children in a same-sex family. So yeah, it's like a double topic, because you've got kids who are in care or kids who have been adopted. And when you are adopted or you're in care, you're always worried sort of about pleasing and being accepted, and because of the journey you've been through. But then you add the layer of maybe you're gay, maybe you're pansexual, maybe you're transgender. It's harder to tell the people in your life this, right? Because absolutely, you're scared you're not going to be accepted. So that puts these kids at a higher risk. Yeah. And I'd say any potential or current adoptive family needs to read the resources we have, watch the panel, because you don't know if you're going to be in the situation where this is going to be something that's going to affect a child that's in your house, and you need to be able to be supportive and open. I mean, they need to feel that you're open about the topic, so it's not even a question of coming to you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Donc, il y a une autre partie de ce qu'on présente cette semaine, point de vue de diversité, c'est de rentrer dans la communauté de LGBTQ+. Donc, c'est toute la perspective-là, puis que Catherine nous a organisé un panel demain soir. Fait que regardez ça, parce qu'il va y avoir des gens qui vont donner la perspective, surtout étant l'enfant qui était sous les soins, qui a passé à travers de se découvrir sexuellement, puis de voir c'était où c'est comment important que c'est pour que le parent qui adopte, de voir que c'est ça, la diversité est là, puis comment qu'on peut supporter les enfants, parce que c'est quelque chose qui est difficile de s'accepter souvent soi-même, puis là, quand ils rentrent dans des familles adoptives, est-ce que la famille va m'accepter pour ce que je suis? Puis sur le panel aussi, il y a des parents qui vont être là aussi, qui vont nous donner leur perspective de leur cheminement sur ce côté-là, puis cette perspective-là. Fait que regardez ça.
And if anybody ever wants to talk to me about it, like personally, because I have a whole lot of experience with it, and it was like paramount in the way we brought our children up. If my daughter wanted to wear boy clothes, she could. If my son wanted to wear girl clothes, like there were no boy clothes or girl clothes, there were just clothes. When my son was little and we brought my daughter home, and we all get caught up in this, you adopt a little girl and she was little. So you've got like the little bows in her hair and the frilly dresses and the Mary Jane shoes. My son, he was 6 and he wanted bows all the time because he saw all the time and attention that went into bows. So fine, we go to the mall and everybody had bows. I put in bows,
Yeah, it was a whole family experience.
Exactly. There were just toys. There were like you played with whatever you wanted to. And I love the fact that if my kids had a question around gender or sexuality, they would feel free to come to us. My oldest has always said, I'm not sure what I am. And it's not like there's no discomfort in saying that, And my daughter, who I'm almost sure is straight, because she's so many boy crushes. She's 12. But she still occasionally says, I'm going to marry Rachel from Friends. Not knowing that it's been off the air for like, a lot of years.
Yeah.
So like,
no, that's great.
Yeah, they know they can tell us anything. So
having that openness and that discovery and being comfortable in that discovery and that there's no pressure to even know right now. And
you could just be whoever you
I don't know.
Yeah. The I don't know is perfectly as good as the I know,
Yeah, exactly. I like that.
So, and for those who are thinking of becoming parents, the door is open. Like they welcome same-sex. There's so many same-sex couples and singles that have adopted successfully, and their kids are thriving. I mean, it's probably in the last 15 or 16 years. There was a road to get there. Like when I started out in my, my 20s, there was no road like that. But now the road is open and there's lots of people you can talk to who have walked that road, and you can talk with them because while the road is open, you might have friends and family that don't understand in the same way. So it's good to talk to others about that.
Exactly. It's like that support system that you've mentioned earlier.
Yes. Yeah. It was really great. Like for us, when we adopted our second, and we had friends. We did have friends in New Brunswick that adopted, but they were straight. And but we had friends in Quebec who were same-sex couple that had adopted. So it was really good to hear their experience and share with somebody who had walked the same path as us,
Absolutely. That you can relate and understand each other, or, and get that extra support. Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, there's people to talk to. And on that note, Thursday night, we're going to talk about all things diversity, all the topics we've talked about, Indigenous adoption, transracial adoption, single parent adoption, LGBTQ2+ adoption. We're going to have a group and we're going to talk about all that. So if you're curious about this, you're involved in this kind of parenting, come. If you have questions, come. If you have answers you want to share, come. Like if you have wisdom and tons of experience, please come share it with us and we will all learn from each other. And it's going to be Thursday night at 7:30.
Oui, donc jeudi soir, c'est le groupe de support à travers toute la diversité dans l'adoption. S'il vous plaît, joignez-vous à ça si vous êtes intéressé, si vous êtes curieux, si vous avez des choses à partager, des ressources à partager, des expériences à partager. C'est tout ouvert. Donc, joignez-nous ça c'est jeudi soir. Je crois que c'est 7h30. Is that 7:30?
Yes, 7:30.
Yes, perfect.
So yeah, we're hoping that we can have some people come together and we can all learn from each other's experiences, or there might be people who are just starting out on their road to adoption and have questions, and we welcome them there too. So I think it will be an exciting discussion.
Absolutely.
One that I hope we will keep on continuing, throughout the year. So I welcome you all to join any of these activities and to check out the resources on nbadoption.ca under diversity and see what we have this week, see what resources interest you. There's really a lot, and I really can say I learned so much putting this together. So I hope everybody enjoys it as much as I have. And I will be posting some throughout the week on Facebook too. So check that out.
Yes, so have an eye out for that. Donc, regardez ça cette semaine. On a une belle semaine de préparer pour vous. Et puis, c'est ça, toutes les ressources sont sur le site web. Par contre, il va y avoir des choses qui vont être sur Facebook aussi. Mais vraiment, tout est bien identifié sur le site web. Donc, n'hésitez pas à aller voir là. Puis, on vous voit à travers la semaine.
Do you know if we have any questions or anything, Brandi?
No, Suzanne. I see Suzanne said good morning, and other than that, that's pretty much wraps it up for today, I believe.
Yeah, that I want to thank you, Brandi, for joining me and helping out, and I look forward to connecting with people during these activities, or you can message me personally. So enjoy the week, and thank you very much for listening.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye, Timon.
Bye.